Here's another one of my elementary school stories that happened about a couple years after the Great Green Pea Caper. And if you haven't seen that one, you should watch it. People tell me they really enjoyed that one too. And that was my first story time. Anyway, like I said before, I pretty much kept to myself as a kid in grade school, which includes during recess, where all the kids were allowed to escape those rectangular cells, otherwise known as classrooms, and run down to the playground to play. And yes, the Gen Xer stories you may have heard about the playgrounds back then are true, and I'm talking about the early 70s. This playground consisted of asphalt and concrete and was filled with many implements of torture and bodily harm. I consider myself lucky that I got out of there without getting my spine crushed on one of these implements called the teeter-totter. This device was cemented down right on the asphalt, and there were small craters forming in the asphalt at each end of the teeter-totter where the steel tubing met the asphalt in sometimes teeth-rattling force. Anyway, back to the Club Claudia. Claudia was a classmate who was a big girl. No doubt about it, she was the biggest girl in the school. And she was big by every measure. She was tall and she was round. I don't remember her talking much, but I remember walking through the playground one day, and as I came near Claudia, there were two other girls standing next to her. One of Claudia's cohorts asked me, "Do you want to join Claudia's club?" I was like, "What is that?" And then they proceeded to explain that all I had to do was let Claudia pick me up off the ground. I was a bit skeptical of this. I was like, I don't know. Then the girls pointed out another kid who joined Club Claudia and said he did it. And this other boy confirmed that he did do it and was in the club. So I agreed to join Club Claudia because I just didn't know any better at the time, and it actually gave me something to do during recess. So the club initiation began. Claudia got behind me, put her arms around my chest, and lifted me right off the ground. But she did much more than lift me off the ground. She began crushing the living daylights out of me. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't do anything but try to gasp for air. My life, all 9 years of it at the time, was flashing before my eyes. I was beginning to think that I was not going to survive this. I began wondering what my parents would say at my funeral, where my eulogy would be, "Here lies Progressive Geek, crushed to death by a girl during recess." But then, before I would start blacking out, she let me go. I had to recover, wait for my rib cage to move back into its original shape so I could breathe. But now I was a bona fide member. Shortly after my christening into Club Claudia, Jimmy came along. Jimmy was one of two strange kids that seemed to magnetize toward me for God knows what reason. Probably because, like me, they were recess loners too. But Jimmy, he walked up, and the girls then gave him the same spiel on how to join Club Claudia. Now, I didn't really like Jimmy, so when Jimmy asked me if I really did it, and am I now a member of Club Claudia, I said, yeah, it's great. Then, in morbid curiosity, I watched Jimmy get the same crushing embrace by Claudia. He almost said something like, "Oh God," before he couldn't breathe. All he could do was struggle against the iron embrace of Claudia's arms. His lips were making a motion similar to that of a recently caught fish laid out on a dock. When he was finally let go, he told me, "I thought I was going to die." In response, I said, "Yup."